strength or to show the world that you have powers, we created these alter egos. It started with the graffiti writers.
Right.
You know, mild mannered young brothers and sisters, but they created their names and they put it everywhere on the walls. Same thing with the breakdancers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just normal kids, Latino, African American kids from New York City, they discover they have this powerful dance ability.
Right.
So they give themselves names. If it wasn't for comics, hip-hop's presentation would be totally different. Imagine if these kids wasn't reading comics, okay, I am Clark Kent, but I turned into Superman. Imagine if we didn't have that blueprint. Hip-hop would have been so different. So from the artistic, when graffiti came along, when hip-hop came along, the graffiti was like those comic book pages jumping off the pages and getting on the wall. Then when the breakdancers started breakdancing, putting on their Adidas and their Puma suits, that was like their superhero costumes.
Right.
Then, when the music started getting played and the MCs started telling the stories that were on the pages, everything had to emulate that blueprint, that presentation.
Right.
So for me, when I was a kid, those Melly Mel, Kumo D, Cold Crush 4, like look at those names right there.
Right,
It's like superhero names.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, Cold Crush 4 MCs, the Fantastic 5 MCs.
Yeah.
Right.
Furious
The Furious
5.
5 MCs, Melly Mel, you know what I'm saying? The Funky 4, the Treacherous 3. Don't sound like some badass people out the comic book. You know what I'm saying? So the only thing that was available to us, because a lot of us didn't have televisions,
Right.
was the comic books.
Wow.
So when we wanted to create a universe, it had to be the only thing that we was looking at.
Wow.
The comic books was all that those young brothers and sisters had.
Oh, okay, so what inspired you to even be a part of that comic world? You know,
Right,
like,
right.
because I get that you're saying, like, you know, it derived and that's all we had, especially like in New York, and then Marvel started in New York, so
Exactly.
it made sense, but not every hip hop artist included it. So why did you include it?
Well, the reason why I included it was because I grew up in Queens. I grew up in the suburbs. I went to Catholic school my whole life.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I was a geeky.
You
My
was
life.
a nerd.
Yeah, I wasn't in the game. I didn't sell weed.
Okay.
I wasn't gang banging. I was a straight.
Hey, are we all nerds? We're
Yeah,
all nerds,
of
right?
course, yeah. So, but at that time, it was separate, really.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was when the graffiti writers was writing, the breakdancers was breakdancing, the rappers was rapping. All you knew about them was they was in the gang. They used to be the street gang.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like they said, no, I'm doing this because I'm reading comic books. We didn't know that they were reading comic books.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? Because now, the attention wasn't on the comic books anymore, the attention is on them. That's why, you know, when people tell me, oh, DMC was like my superheroes, I can understand.
Yeah.
Right.
So for me, I was a Catholic, straight-A school, geeky kid that wore glasses, that read comic books, and my life was miserable. Because I got teased, bullied, and picked on. You know what I'm saying? Darryl McDaniels, Catholic school kid, brainiac, like being smart and educated wasn't cool back then.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I was let's go play hooky. No, I'm not going to play hooky. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go to school and do my homework and read my comic book. So, that being said, I didn't know it was going to be a setup for me.
Right.
The comic books, especially like you said, Marvel comic books, DC was cool.
Right.
Batman, Superman, Flash, Wonder Woman, all that was cool, but Gotham and Metropolis was fictional. Stan Lee was a genius, rest in peace, because he put the superheroes really in New York. So every time I opened up a comic book, it was real to me.
Right. That
The
was the
Lower
reality.
East Side, Harlem, Hell's Kitchen.
Right.
So it wasn't make-believe to me. So now, that's all I had as a kid, was school and comic books.
Wow.
And not being a cool kid. Now this thing called hip-hop comes over the bridge from the Bronx into Queens.
Right.
So it wasn't a showbiz dream to me. It wasn't, you know, I would be rich and famous. And I didn't have no showbiz dreams. For me, when hip hop came into my neighborhood, for me personally, I was like, oh shoot, you can tell stories about who you are over music.
Wow.
So I was Darryl McDaniels. Mild-mannered school kid, Catholic school kid, Darryl McDaniels, When I get on that microphone, I transform into the most powerful entity in the hip-hop universe.
The king of rock.
Darryl McDaniels.
Yes.
Now, the initials of my name is DMC. But
Wow.
Darryl McDaniels, when I get on the mic, I transform into the devastating mic controller.
Right.
Why? Because comic books taught me at that time in my life, had nothing to do with imagination and creativity and art yet. Comic books taught me in life you define yourself with an adjective, and then you tell the world who you are. For instance, if I say the amazing, you'll say. If I say the mighty, you'll say. If I say the invincible, you'll say. And if I say the incredible, you'll say. So imagine as a kid seeing that. And then it's not about the comic, it's about defining yourself. This is something that I can do in my real life.
Right.
So now it's in me, but I have no way to get it out of me until it's hip-hop thing comes in.
Right.
So hip-hop for me as a kid, even though I was a Catholic school kid from Queens, New York, I was no different from big poor kids in the Bronx.
Right.
So I didn't know what was my connection to hip-hop except for telling the stories. So I was sitting there one day and I was like, okay, these MC guys got names and new personalities and personas. So I sat there one day and I knew this. I mean, hip-hop is just messed up now because in the 50s, you can't be a copycat.
Right.
In my generation, in the 80s, yo, you a biter. Now, copycatting is accepted. So looking at these guys, I was like, yo, Mo is different from Mel. And Grand Wizard Dino is different. Now, they all rap and DJ, but they had different names, different personalities, and different presentations.
Right.
So I'm sitting there, damn, I'm not in the street gang. I don't have guns and knives, and I don't sell drugs.
Wow.
But then I was able to say, who am I? So I said, okay, Thor is the son of Odin from Asgard. He got a brother named Loki, and he got a hammer. That's what Thor does.
Right.
Melly Mel's with the first 5, Modi's with the treacherous 3. I'm Darryl. I got a brother named Alfred. My father's, this is real life stuff. My father's name is Byford, and I got a mic. So I became son of Byford, brother of Al. Ben is my mother and runs my pal.
Hey.
It's McDaniels, not McDonald's. These rhymes are Darryl's, those burgers are Ronald's. I ran down my family tree.
Yeah.
My mother, my father, my brother, and me. So I said, I'm going to take the stuff people think ain't cool and powerful
Right.
and make it powerful.
Wow.
Because the imagination allows you to do that. Albert Einstein, the smartest man in history, said these words. Imagination, especially to you young people, imagination is more powerful than knowledge. He didn't say knowledge wasn't necessary. He said imagination is more powerful than knowledge. Put that knowledge with education, and you're unstoppable. So when I came on the mic, my thing was to do what the other rappers
Wasn't
don't
doing.
do.
Absolutely.
And it taught me
and it
that.
took you very far, man.
Yes.
I mean,